When it comes to getting a pre-approval for a mortgage, you have two options, working with a bank or working with a mortgage broker. Now, if you've been house hunting, if you've been wanting to buy your first home and still confused whether you should approach a bank directly or a mortgage broker, this video is for you. In this video, we're going to discuss the pros and cons of working with each of them. So stay tuned. Now, first, let's look at the scenario of working with a bank. There are multiple pros of working with a bank directly. Now, one of the biggest pro is that you may already have a relationship with the bank and they already have your history, your salary, everything is coming in your bank account. So they already have your history for a longer time to be able to trust yourself for a mortgage and to be able to process your application much faster. Coming on to second pro is banks take much lesser time in processing your application compared to if you're going through a mortgage broker. They will send your file to generally mortgage brokers will send your file to multiple banks or multiple lenders, which will essentially take a longer amount of time to get a decision or get an outcome on your application. Banks may also offer you incentives in terms of they can offer you discounts on closing costs or they can offer you better interest rates depending on depending on your history with them, depending on how much mortgage you are taking, you can get better deals with the banks. Now let's talk about some of the cons of working directly with the banks. One of the biggest con of working directly with the banks is that banks generally have stricter guidelines and requirements. So they stress test each of the customer on a higher interest rate. So when you send your application, they will test your income. They will generally stress test your income on a higher interest rate. So in the scenario of interest rates doubling up or tripling up, they make sure that you will still be able to service your mortgage. Secondly, sometimes banks generally aren't able to provide that many options in terms of different products, mortgage products. So if you're going to a mortgage broker, they will expose you to multiple lenders, and that will allow you to get multiple options from different lenders. Whereas banks only have access to their own products and own interest rates only, so they can only provide you with what they have, what they are offering. Now let's look at some of the benefits or some of the pros of working directly through a mortgage broker. So if you're getting your pre-approval through a mortgage broker, one of the biggest pro is that mortgage brokers generally have access to multiple lenders. They are not only they don't only have relationships with the main banks, they also have relationships with the non-bank lenders and the second tier lenders as well. So generally your application is exposed to a much more variety of lenders. Now the second tier lenders and the non-bank lenders are generally a little bit relaxed about the policies and guidelines, and test them. They can be a little bit flexible on your income side as well, but they also offer you higher interest rates, so you end up paying a little bit extra as well. The other biggest benefit of working through a mortgage broker is that they sometimes are able to get you even a better deal than a bank. Since they're putting your file across multiple lenders, they can negotiate the interest rates and the deal on your behalf with multiple lenders and get you a better deal. Now let's talk about some of the cons of getting your pre-approval through a mortgage broker. Now, if you're working through a mortgage broker, sometimes your applications can take slightly longer since mortgage brokers have exposed your application to multiple lenders. They're working with multiple lenders, and the banks itself, they have multiple teams who are working on the approvals. So it could take slightly longer in terms of getting a pre-approval. Also, one of the other factor is that when you are working through a mortgage broker, you may not have an existing relationship with that mortgage broker that you initially had with a bank. So in this case, the process may sound a little bit unfamiliar depending on which mortgage broker you are dealing with. Thirdly, mortgage brokers have less control, may have less control over the underwriting process of the banks, since they are working with multiple banks, and each of the banks may have their own set of guidelines and underwriting processes, and that may affect your application. So these are some of the cons that you need to look at while going through a mortgage broker or while working directly with a bank. So whether you decide to work with a bank or with a mortgage broker will depend on your individual need. In my opinion, though, it's best to explore both options and work with both bank as well as a mortgage broker, and then compare which one is giving you better deal or which one is giving you better interest rate and the better budget as well. And then you can make an informed decision accordingly. So there you have it, guys. In this video, we have discussed the pros and cons of working with bank as well as directly with a bank as well as with a mortgage broker. If you like the content, please do not forget to hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe the channel. Raminder Singh signing off. Thank you.